do you remember when and where you were when you first went, what the hell is going on here? Who's Elvis? We'll be chatting about the effects that the arrival of Elvis on the worldwide stage had in our country. Great new book out. We'll be finding out about it in the next few minutes with its author, Ivor Casey.
And now, with Hot Press, The Rock Report. Radio Nova.
Irish fans of Elvis really should get their hands on a brand new book that has just come out called Elvis and Ireland. Its author joins me on the telephone now. Pornography, corruption of our youth's minds. This is what the elders of our state used to think when Elvis arrived on our shores through faraway radio broadcasts and movies. Is that right, Ivor?
Well, in the 1950s, when rock and roll came along, in Ireland, rock and roll music was not played on Radio Éireann, which was our only radio channel at the time. Radio Luxembourg was the only source for a lot of people to get modern music, that strange music that was coming from America. And Elvis, well, like as we know, Elvis spearheaded rock and roll around the world. There was rock stars before him, but it carved out a shape with Elvis. And when Elvis came along, he was this American force. And in Ireland, the church, the priests, and as what was going on in the south of America, you know, the Christian leaders, they saw him as the agent of Satan. You know, he was the devil's music. And in Ireland, a lot of his movies were heavily censored because of the suggestive dancing.
Or banned.
And banned, yeah. King Creole was banned in 1958 from King Creole. And I discovered all this kind of stuff in the films. I went to the National Archives and I found a lot of this stuff in the film censors' notes and traced back all the newspapers, all the hard copies of newspapers going back to the 50s, just for any mention of Elvis, just to see how he was received here.
Yeah.
By 1959, Elvis was being mentioned in Dáil debates. I uncovered some Dáil debates in 1959 where some Fine Gael TDs were talking about whether they should play Elvis's music on radio or not, because the amount of revenue that was being generated for Radio Luxembourg.
Well, what you've done, Ivor, is very interesting because, as it's been pointed out time and time again, there are literally thousands of books about Elvis available to us. But there's never been a kind of a look back and the timeline that you have built in what was going on in Elvis's world and what was going on in our country at the same time.
We often hear that Elvis was this great cultural force around the world, but I just wanted to hone in on exactly how he was received in different countries around the world. And of course, being Irish, I wanted to focus on Ireland. It goes on to show how much of an influence he was, because we had the show bands and then the beat groups, and then we had like great rock acts like Thin Lizzy and Rory Gallagher, and eventually U2 became like the pinnacle of rock and roll. Phil Lynott was a huge Elvis fan. Rory Gallagher, they were mad. They often cited Elvis as being this major influence on their careers. King's Call comes straight to mind with Phil in mind. All right, the book is called Elvis and Ireland. Ivor Casey here with me on Radio Nova's Rock Report. Where can we get the book, Ivor? At the moment, it's in Eason's nationwide. It's on Amazon. Tower Records have it, and Celtic Note on Nassau Street have it as well.
All right, listen, fair play. It's a great angle to take, a rather unique angle to take, and all the best with it, fella.
Thank you, Marty.